Townsville Tin Tops on their formation lap here. Race number 2 supporting the NTI Townsville Super Sprint this weekend. Harry Jones will start alongside Josh Fife. So the Carrera Cup car up against the Super 3 car. On the front row, Luke Gilden and Ryan Sewell. On the next row, Declan Fraser and Tony Quinn, who did a mysterious drive-through yesterday after leading the race for a long, long time. And we go down the field to Nathan Hearn, the teenager in the TA2 car. Madeline Stewart on the 6th row. Sean Richardson in the mix. Down to Nash Morris and Jason Gomersall, who didn't even get to the end of the first lap yesterday. A timed race, not a lap distance, of which the time has already started to count down, and a rolling start, which is what we love about this category. So the Carrera Cup car alongside Josh Fife, who drove this car to victory at the final round of that series at Sandown last year. Nice and even, and we go green here on the streets of Townsville. We jump in car with Declan Fraser.
Right up the middle.
Wide.
Here we go. Let's see what happens on the brakes and at the kink.
Jones to the inside. Was that a glance at the wall from the Porsche behind? Gets a hit from Fraser. Ryan Sewell on the outside as everybody stacks up into the very tight turn 2 and onto Charters Tower Road for the first time. There goes Quinn down the inside of 5, so he's up into second.
Yeah, Quinn in the big Aston Martin. He'll be looking to pounce. Coming through the traffic.
He was great yesterday, but we still couldn't get to the bottom of why that car came into the pits. It wasn't a penalty.
He said it was a gear selection issue, but maybe he just wanted some fun passing some cars.
He certainly had that, that's for sure. Through turns 7 and 8, and a change of direction back across Boundary Street underneath the bridge here. We're back in car with Yilden.
Yeah, Yilden, he got on the dirty part of the track down at turn 2. So he'll cleans his tyres off now.
Quinn goes to the front down at the Dunlop hairpin.
Yeah, easy pickets for Quinn.
And there's Jeff Taunton doing the same. So popular passing spot on the circuit. So Harry Jones gets a chance to run with the big Aston Martin at the end of lap number 1. Back in car with former Bathurst winner Luke Gilden.
Up through the gears. Paddle shift through this kink, which should be easy flat in the Porsche. Looking for your braking marker.
Sewell
just covers him off. Gilden looking for the switchback. And he's got Declan Fraser in his mirrors as well now too. So this should be a great battle.
And he was right into that 3-car wide battle down to the sweeper on the first lap. Jones past the Shannon's Insurance wall cam. And Declan Fraser at the back of this in the 777 entry. The car that powered Cameron Waters to the Super 2 Championship back in 2015 through the left and right sequence. To take a look at the replay of the start here. Just about perfect like we saw yesterday.
Yeah, the V8s get the power down. Declan up the middle, and look for you, Wilton, on the dirty stuff here, down on the right-hand side. Did a great job to get it stopped. There he goes, on the dirt. Man, that was lucky.
Oh, there was smoke everywhere, and Declan was just taking it easy, wasn't he?
He did a good job to stay off him.
So the Porsches were scrambling. The Aston Martin made the move down the inside of the Natural Gas Works entry. And Bailey Hall, the Gold Coast teenager, also climbing the curbs.
Here we go.
The view from Luke. Wow.
Yeah, a little bit advantageous there. He did well to stay off Tony Quinn. Had it all locked up. There's a little bump from Declan that gets him sideways off the turn.
It was every direction but straight. Wow. Wild start as we work the 3rd lap of this race now. Fraser at the back of this group of cars in 6th position. The man from Mackay, last time we were here, is in a little Toyota 86 car. One of the red-hot couriers have come along for the ride as he moves up the ladder in Australian motorsport.
It's a good story, isn't it? Taking his sponsors with him from Toyota 86 Racing into Super 3. Come on, Declan, have a look up the inside here, mate. Stick it in there, brother. Come on, roll it in. No. He needs to work him over here. Just rattle his bumper. Get the guy looking in his mirrors. Try and get a good exit. Maybe sneak it down the inside at the hairpin.
So,
oh, big block.
Yes, parked it in the middle.
Righto. What's going to happen here? Declan might give him one coming out, which he does.
Certainly got the aggression up in this 2nd race of the weekend, while Tony Quinn has about 2 seconds on Jones. Fife is still 3rd. Yilden, Sewell and Fraser that you're watching coming past the start-finish line now. That's Hargraves, Taunton. Nathan Hearn is now inside the top 10.
That's an awesome shot from Hearn, isn't it?
Straight up.
The TA2 car.
Yeah, outside that top 10 from yesterday.
Sewell close the block again, getting very defensive. Let's see what Declan can do. Switching back. Porsche puts its power down pretty nicely. Gets a jump on him off the corner. Declan just guides it in early.
And they're losing touch with the cars ahead. They're about 3 seconds behind Yulden as he rips through the shot here through the Cooper's sweep and the Coates high corner.
Yeah, Sewell's being very defensive. Declan's just got to use his brains here and try and set him up for a run. So don't try and range up on him here. Try and get a good exit and get some overlap.
Like so many, Stall has come out of the karting ways. He was mentored by James Courtney a few years ago. We saw him step into Formula Ford competition and into Formula 4 back in 2017 at just the age of 14. They're getting younger and younger, aren't they?
They are getting younger.
So Quinn leads this race by just over 2 seconds from Jones, Fife, Yulden and Ryan Stall here in race number 2. So Fraser continues to charge on Stall. That's been the biggest gap that Stall's had so far.
Yeah, a little bit of breathing room there now, so hopefully he won't go defensive and these guys can get their lap times back under control. Okay, Jeff Taunton having a little bit of look on Hargraves. These are the two Mark II built Mustang silhouette cars from the Mark Car stable.
Taunton, of course, just taking over the Mark Cars Australia business in the recent past, just this year. It's been brewing now for over 10 years. It's a great organisation and great cars.
And look who's in the background. You can just see a glimpse of Nathan Hearn there in the TA2 car. The young bloke's doing a ripper job in that car. As this battle continues in front of him, he's ranging up.
Hearn, who started on the 6th row in 11th position again. I think he finds his same wheel tracks.
Oh, he's awesome to watch, isn't he? Spectacular driving style, which suits this car. It's on a cross-ply tyre, not a radial. The TA2 car doesn't mind a bit of abuse. You can slide it around a bit.
So he just starts to reel these guys in while they battle. So Hearn was 11th, now runs in 9th ahead of Bask, who is the quickest in the Super Touring category. Race within a race for all 7 that are in here this weekend as part of the Townsville Tin Tops. Another lap in the books. Hargraves and Taunton running 7th and 8th, just outside the top 10. We've got Madeline Stewart. Jason Gomersall from the back of the field is up into 13th position now.
Yeah, so CDI problem for Jason yesterday. No laps, no ignition. So he's got fresh tyres off the back of the grid in his Super 3 car, rocking through the field.
Yeah, it was a shame for yesterday. He qualified inside that top 10. In car now, the little Toyota 86 of Nash Morris. She goes to make the move on the outside. There's cars everywhere.
That's a good move. Split him with the Porsche. And then waves Declan through.
That was a busy little sequence.
Oh, he knew what was happening around him. Good situation awareness. Everyone got through.
So those guys, that was 5th and 6th coming through. Here's the replay. So he's trying to make the move while Saul and Fraser. That was cool. They got your ticket of approval.
That's 4 different classes of car in one corner and they all got through. Ripper job by all drivers.
And not one mark to speak of anywhere. That was cool. The BP Ultimate replay. This is Josh Fife coming through the shot, running in 3rd position. And here they were. There was Saul across the curb and Nash right in the mix, trying to watch his mirrors and make a pass for position at the same time.
Okay, back on board with Declan Fraser. Trying to stay in touch with Sewell here. Oh, this is a replay. Here we go. Here we go. I think you see Nash's finger come out the window here. Wave Declan past. There he goes.
And he had no choice. Let's go to the inside. Fraser, that is, in the Red Hot Couriers entry. We go back to Taunton now. This is what we talked about. The lap traffic didn't take long to catch him, and now Nathan Hearn, who was about 2 seconds behind this group of cars, is right on the back of the Mark Cars Australia.
Oh, look at that slide back and into the corner. This guy is spectacular to watch. And he's keeping up. He's ranging in on these cars of far more superior performance than his TA2 car. A lot more aero, bigger tyres. He's going to have a look here. Oh, he locks the rears up, squirms. Okay, slower car on the inside in the touring class. Lets him past.
It's a busy racetrack out there now, so Hearn, the 17-year-old from Lismore, stays with the Mark Cars battle just ahead. 9th position, but they're some 27 seconds away from the leader, Tony Quinn. Harry Jones hasn't let him go. He's only 1.5 seconds behind, so the Helly-Mods entry runs in second, but they've got 8 seconds now back to Josh Fife in the Super 3 car.
Yeah, Jones just starting to do his fastest sector times of the race, so obviously pressured those tyres for a longer run. Let's see if he can catch Quinny in the back after this race.
So Hearn arrived, but now has dropped back from these two Mustangs down to the right-hander off Hino corner. So the Mark Cars battling out here inside the top 10. Nathan Hearn, who came from the 6th row, trying to engage with lap traffic in the mix here. There is the Gulf Western Oils entry, the son of Stewie Hearn, legend on the dirt tracks here in Australia, 6-time dirt modified champion, and looks like the Hearn name is going to carry on for many years to come.
Well, he's definitely got his father's car control, hasn't he?
Absolutely.
He doesn't mind throwing that car around, which is awesome to see. Given the crowd, no, some more black marks as he comes off the corner. Just lays the boot in it. So Taunton makes the move on Hargraves. Hargraves looking for the switchback. Nathan Hearn's just sitting there. Come on, guys, make a mistake. I'm going to pounce.
He might just go for it here at the final turn. So Taunton has worked several laps to get past Hargraves and finally gets the job done, while Tony Quinn has set the fastest lap of the race. He's on another flying lap. Gap is out to 2 seconds. While we focus on this battle, 7th, 8th and 9th on the circuit here. Race 2 of the Townsville Tin Tops presented by motorsportsales.com. Into the right-hander down at turn number 2. The change of direction. All of a sudden the track goes to half width.
It narrows right in there. If you get caught out wide, someone's going to hit the fence. You need to make sure you're at least 2 cars only coming through that part of the track. On board back here with Luke Gilden now. Sitting at 4th position. That's Josh Fife in the Super 3 car out of the Brad Jones Racing stable.
Luke looks more comfortable today. I mean, he's a very notable Porsche instructor. We've known him from over the years, but looks more comfortable in that car than he did yesterday.
Yeah, blow the cobwebs off. Hasn't been racing a lot, so he'd be just really enjoying himself.
Back in car with Declan Fraser.
Yeah, a little bit of a sway bar adjustment there, so looks like he's come off on the rear bar a bit. So looking for a bit of rear-wheel traction by the looks of it. Through the Hollinger gearbox, traditional 6-speed Hollinger.
Back through the field now. This is Sean Richardson, the RTC Group entry. English-born, does spend a lot of time in America as well as Queensland, and we've seen him in the Stadium Super Trucks over the years as well. You've had a bit of combat with Sean.
Yeah, I've had the gloves off with Sean a few times. He's been a pretty good guy, and a good thing I like him, you can battle him hard on the track and have a beer with him after.
Absolutely,
so
yeah.
He's a great competitor.
And so enthusiastic about going racing into the final turn. So Richardson runs back in 14th. That's Corbett just behind.
Let's see the power difference between these 2 cars. So the big LS engine TA2 car versus the 5-litre Ford in the Focus.
He's going to make the move on Richardson down the bottom here.
Yep, throws it in there. Richardson will give him some room. Gives him plenty of room. Realise that, and here we go, Quinny in the background.
And so the race leader has lapped everybody up to 15th position, as well as setting the fastest lap of the race. So Harry Jones has managed to take about a second out of there. He's in the background with the headlights flashing aboard the Carrera Cup car. It's down into the left-hand sweeper we go. This
could be Jones's chance. Young bloke is going to be very aggressive through the traffic. Been putting on a clinic here all weekend. Jones, lights flashing. And again, this is a skill set you need as a racing driver. You're going to compete in these long-distance sports car races, either here or overseas. You have to deal with lap traffic, and you've got to deal with it at night. So, awesome practice for these guys.
He's going with me. I think Jones has had the better run in the lap traffic here.
Yep, Nash just opened up the door, let him through. You see the power difference between the cars.
Into the final turn we go again. So just over 11.5 minutes of racing.
He's right on him now.
Go, and should set him up for a challenge down this long straight with a right-hand kink involved. down to turn number 2. So a gap that was out to 2.5 seconds is less than a second.
Yeah, 0.9. Let's see how Jones is under brakes. That's going to be a strong challenge. Letting the car run into brakes.
Back in car with Yilden as he challenges for Josh Fife, 3rd position. Quinn continues to lead, but it's far from done here in Townsville. So Yilden on the back of Fife down in Hino corner. Lap traffic just ahead. So while the race might have settled down for a bit, the lap traffic has really spiced up his move and almost had his nose chopped off.
It's like he missed a gear there or something, didn't he? Or wrong-footed in the traffic.
Traffic, the big issue here, and lucky we didn't have 2 cars in a really narrow part of the Reed Park circuit.
You can see Fife just struggling for some lateral grip and power down. But Luke will look to capitalise on that on the corner exits. Fife just covers him off. Oh, who's locked the rears there?
It's Richardson coming in the hot.
E36 BMW.
Yeah, in the background, but Richardson was also coming in hot in his RTC entry. There he is. The TA2 car just ahead, about to go a lap down. 2nd and 3rd. Sorry, 3rd and 4th on the circuit. 5. And just tucked in, almost in the boot of the Natural Gas Works entry, is Luke Yilden. Ryan Saul is in this as well. Here he is, down the inside, behind the back of Yilden, while they pick away more lap traffic. So Richardson moves out the way.
Yeah, Saul's played himself back into this.
So here's the replay. That's the VP Ultimate. So coming out of Hino corner, the lap car just ahead and just on the brakes in time to avoid contact on the back of the VE2 Commodore. That got our attention. I sat back on the screen a few inches. So down towards 7 and 8. Quinn has kept the gap out in front to just on a second. Madeline Stewart has sent her fastest lap of the race. In the second of the Brad Jones entered cars. She's down in 12th position, just ahead of Jason Gomersall. Back to the leaders at the final turn. Around 9 minutes of racing still remaining.
Now this is a long way. 9 minutes around this track is a fair old workout. So the secret to this from now on is who can look after their tyres the best. As you see, exactly what's happening with Josh Fife.
This is almost a carbon copy of yesterday, wasn't it, late in the race? So Fife, Yilden and Sewell are some 15 seconds behind the leaders. Back in car, the Commercial Interior Projects entry. And look at the way that Commodore just stretches the legs. 250 k's an hour through the right-hand sweeper. Then under brakes, these Carrera Cup cars are doing the business. Sewell down the right-hand side. Bit of a phantom look on Yilden just ahead.
He's there, and you can see Declan Fraser just sneaking into this fight as well. So as Fife is backing everyone up, we're going to get a concertina effect. Plenty of laps left to have a real good scrap. Luke just dancing with the throttle, trying to deal with that little bit of understeer he has there mid-corner.
He really stayed away from that inside curb at the Cooper's sweep. The more aggressive through the 7 and 8 complex.
He obviously worked out what the car likes there, and if you get that wrong and clout the inside of the curb as well, you can do a lot of damage. So it's a real fine line of how much you want to take there.
And they do have their limits eventually. These curbs are very, very tough on the cars.
Yeah, the Super 3 cars don't mind curbs. They're developed and built around being thrown over curbs. The Porsche, not so much. European developed car. You don't see many tracks like we have here, our street circuits in Europe. So that's why you see the different approach to the curbs.
Spoke about Madeline Stewart just before ran the oldest spec car in the field with Jason Gomersall. He's been chasing her now for most of the race. He got past several cars from 24th on the grid up into 13th.
That's a nice drive here from Madeline. Getting some experience. 3rd in the class yesterday. She was pretty excited about that.
Still good to see these older spec supercars getting some miles around the country.
They're cool cars. They're 10, 11-year-old cars now, and the way we built these cars back in the day, they're just strong tanks. You can really give them a height and then they just cop it. They're a great piece of machinery.
This car started its life back in 2010 at Brad Jones Racing for Jason Bright. Madeline spent some time over in Western Australia last year in the...
What's happened to Desmond? He's got a problem.
Yeah, he's cruising back, and we talk about Sunday drives. This is one of them, but not the pace he'd like to be going at. This car's cruising back off the racing line. He's still shown in 6th position with the margin he has back to Taunton and Hargraves, but
he'll be heading for pit lane. What's he done? A driveline issue or something? It's hard to tell from there, but he doesn't seem to be able to apply any throttle, so might have a broken axle or something.
In time, down at turn 2. So the clock continues to count down. We're getting towards that real excitement point of the race. Saul still running behind Yilden and Fife, but they are some 20 seconds away from Harry Jones and Tony Quinn, who took the lead early in this race. As he makes a run down into the Cooper's sweep. So the Commodore holding back the 2 Carrera Cup cars. So Fraser has come back into the pits now. That car in trouble and looks unlikely to contest the race. Here he is, the Red Hot Courier's entry. The car that powered him to 2nd in the Super 3 category at Sydney earlier this year for Anderson Motorsport.
He shut it down. Here's the battle here.
So Grant Elliott on the back of Sean Richardson. This might tell us more on the BP Ultimate replay. What happened to Declan Fraser?
Broken axle, I'd say, over that bump. So he's now got a 1-wheel drive Falcon.
Yep, not much fun. So that'll be the end of that race. Blessing is another one to come later today.
Having a look. He's got the best tyres out of this bunch. He's hung back, crept back up to him. I think he's got the tyres to take it to Yilden, which is then taking the pressure off Fife. So Luke's the meat in the sandwich here. He's trying to be aggressive in attack and cover his line at the same time.
Fife's doing a great job.
He seemed to settle back down.
Yeah.
So important in the supercar round here to really look after your throttle ramp. So if you're a bit greedy with your right foot, you can destroy the tyre very quickly. Looks like he's got some pace back into that car now.
Raced this car in last year's Super 3 Series and now stepped up into Super 2 for season 2020. Back to the leaders, and now
right on him now,
it's really on.
Lights flashing. Jones wants this.
Jones in a big hurry, chasing Tony Quinn past another one of the BMWs. So right at the pointy end of the race, Jones looks hungry.
Different cars, and what a difference in age too we have here. Young guy in his teens. Oh, Fife's had a problem.
Just as we gave him a rap on how good he was going, the Natural Gas and Waterworks entry has come to a stop.
Just opposite pit lane entry, maybe.
Looks like
Sewell on the attack there. He's not giving up.
Now, could that be enough for a safety car? This will tell us more. So it's on the exit of the turn 11 Dunlop hairpin on the BP Ultimate replay.
Yeah, it's like it's run out of fuel or something. It's definitely lost power.
What's this from Yilden? The reflexes as he came out as the 5 car faltered and snapped sideways.
He's still got it, Luke, hasn't he?
Absolutely.
Most guys would have driven into the back of that. So Fife very lucky. Guy of Luke's quality behind him. Just natural instinctive reactions to drive around him.
What a shame for Fife. He was running 3rd all race long, and just in the closing stages has come to a stop, putting Yilden up into 3rd. And a long way from these two as they're coming up now to put a lap on Madeline Stewart in 11th position.
And Gomersall is now leading the Super 3 class from the back of the grid.
Did
you see him in the shot there?
And he's left Stewart in the distance as the leaders come through. Down to Hino Corner, 21 seconds from 2nd to 3rd. So confirmation of broken axle on the Declan Fraser car, so well picked.
Well, that's pretty common around here. You come off that curb, launch, land with your foot on the throttle, and those guys need to get on top of their crack testing program, and that stuff won't happen.
That was the car in the pits stationary, just showing you how much success it's had over the years.
It's had a few wins, hasn't it?
Thrown out of sideboards to put the stickers on in his car. Hopefully we'll get that repaired for the final race today. Well, race 2.
Oh, he's having a look now, Jones. Quinny covers him off. He's having none of it. Another couple of laps left in the books here. More traffic from Gomersall.
So up to 9th position they've lapped. There is Fife's car, so it's a local yellow.
has Quinny passed under yellows? He's passed before the green, maybe.
Hard to tell if there was a green flag on the opposite side.
No, but Jones was definitely onto it, and he had an opportunity to follow through and decided he wouldn't. So quite interesting. Be good to get a replay of that.
See what happens.
Jones wasn't going through with him, so there's a reason why he didn't. Gomersall definitely left the opportunity for him to take it.
In these kind of battles, though, is it hard to see the flags?
Depends where you're sitting on the car and what's in front of you. You can get blocked by the vision of another car, but you would have think Tony would have seen that one.
Let's go past Anthony Tenkaker next to the Trans Am cars. Jones goes with him, so clean racetrack for now. So should be one to go. Now, here's the replay you want to see. There's the yellow in the background.
There's the yellow. Quinny goes through.
So there's a second yellow, but they've passed that point.
Where's the next green flag? Sector's up here, so I think he might be in a bit of trouble.
Went for a call from Motorsport Australia Racing Control. But it was a busy part of the circuit. 2 yellow flags in that sector. Back in car with Yulden, who's in 3rd position and has stalled for company after Josh Fife went out of the race.
What's happened to Saul? It's slowed dramatically there too. He's fine. It's just the difference in speed between the Mark V8 and the Porsche and the straight line.
So clock has come to a stop now. We should be on the final lap. So Jones is running out of time. So Quinn.
He's got balked massively here.
Yeah.
Big balk. We might get 2 more to go here, I think, and hot dog.
6. God, there was 6 seconds to go. It's through the left and right combination. They go past Richardson for the 2nd time, and now Jones does the chasing. Has a lap and a bit to go. BP Ultimate Replay. We've had plenty of them in this one. Down at the final turn.
Okay, this battle's still going. Jones has not given up. Really wants the outright win, which if you can overcome the might of this Aston Martin GT car with the Porsche Cup car, it'll be a great effort from the young guy.
And another lap car ahead could play into it at the final turn.
There's the yellow flag. Where's the next green flag point? There's not one there. I think the next one's down here at the start-finish line. So unless it's off to the inside there.
So here we go. Moment of truth. Jones tucked in behind the Aston Martin. They set sail. He's tucked in behind the rear wing of the game over entry, heading down the final turn.
Quinny just parks it on the inside and said, I'm having none of that, mate. If you want to go around, take the long way. Jones will get a better exit here, which will bring him back into contention. Quinny just straight down the middle of the road, covers him off.
So remember, he dropped down to outside the top 10 yesterday, made his way back up inside the top 10 before the last safety car yesterday. Took the lead early in the race. Jones, last year's Sprint Challenge winner for McElrea Racing.
I think Quinny's got him covered. If it's going to be anywhere, it's going to be at the hairpin. But knowing Quinny the way he's driving, he'll just park it down the inside.
And more lap traffic.
We got a lapper.
The 86ers is moving out the way. So again, drives it down the inside, making Jones go the long way around. He'll try to switch back here at the Dunlop hairpin.
We've got a yellow flag from here to the line now, so no opportunity. Quinny will know this.
And looks safe. This Aston Martin sounds the business. It is the business. And Tony Quinn will power out the final turn. This race-long battle comes to an end, and Tony Quinn wins it by just under half a second from Harry Jones. Luke Yulden, 3rd position, some 20 seconds behind, jumping into the 9 car that Bob Woods was going to drive this weekend. Ryan Sewell.
Right there, still in his wake. Good drive from those 2 guys, battling Fife all the way.
In the mirrors the whole race long, 19 seconds away from Tony Quinn, who collects the win in race number 2 of the Townsville Tin Tops, presented by motorsportsales.com. Jeff Taunton home in 5th ahead of Hargraves, Busk, Gomersall from the back of the field into 8th. Madeline Stewart 9th, and Bailey Hall completes the top 10. A lot of movers and shakers in this one. Corbett in 12th position, Richardson 13th, the Trans Am winner, Warwick Douglas down in 17th, and Nash